When people talk about greatness in football, one name that always stands above the rest is Cristiano Ronaldo. But here's something most people don't fully understand: greatness like his doesn't just come from talent, it's built slowly, painfully, and intentionally through years of discipline that most people simply can't maintain. And recently, discussions around his so-called secret training routine have started trending again, not because it's new but because people are finally realizing just how extreme it really is and why it explains everything about his longevity, performance, and mindset even today. Because to understand this, you have to forget everything you think you know about normal athletes, since Ronaldo doesn't live like a normal athlete at all. His life is structured with a level of precision that feels almost unnatural. Every day is planned, every hour has a purpose. From the moment he wakes up, his focus is already locked in, with no randomness, no delays, and no shortcuts. His mornings begin not just with physical, it's not just about physical preparation for him. It's about entering a state where his mind and body are perfectly aligned before the real work even begins. And that starts long before he steps onto the pitch, with a routine built around mental readiness just as much as physical activation, where hydration is carefully monitored, light movements are used to wake up the muscles, and controlled breathing helps him lock in focus, almost like flipping a switch from normal mode into elite performance mode, because he understands that once the intensity rises, there's no room for hesitation or distraction. And when training actually begins, that's where the difference becomes even more obvious, because while most players see team training as the main event, for him it's just the foundation, just the starting point. And instead of stopping where others would feel satisfied, he builds layer after layer on top of it, adding sprint drills that push his speed to the limit, explosive movements that sharpen his power, strength conditioning that reinforces his physical dominance, and technical repetition that ensures his skills remain razor sharp. And what truly elevates all of this is the level of focus he brings into every single action, because he's not just going through the motions or completing drills for the sake of it. He's executing each movement with precision and intention, as if every touch, every run, every strike directly impacts the outcome of a real match. And that mindset transforms ordinary training into something far more intense and meaningful. And there are countless stories shared by teammates across different stages of his career describing the same pattern again and again. Training sessions end, players head back to the locker room, but he stays alone on the pitch, repeating free kicks over and over, adjusting angles, refining technique, practicing finishes from impossible positions, chasing perfection in a way that most people wouldn't even attempt. And it's not driven by coaches or pressure from the outside. It's driven by an internal standard that refuses to accept anything less than excellence. And that's where the real separation happens, because while many players train to meet expectations set by others, he trains to exceed even the expectations he sets for himself, constantly raising the bar to a level that keeps moving higher. But what makes this approach sustainable over time is something that often gets overlooked, and that's how seriously he treats recovery. Because pushing your body to extreme limits is one thing, but being able to do it consistently without breaking down is a completely different challenge. And he understands that recovery isn't optional, it's essential, it's part of the performance itself, which is why ice baths, cryotherapy sessions, deep tissue massages, and structured stretching routines are all integrated into his daily life, not as occasional practices but as non-negotiable habits. And even something as simple as hydration becomes a calculated element in maintaining peak condition, ensuring his body is always ready for the next challenge. And then there's sleep, which he approaches with the same level of discipline as training, treating it as a powerful tool rather than just downtime, following carefully planned sleep cycles and maintaining a strict routine designed to maximize recovery and optimize performance, because he knows that the smallest details can create the biggest advantages. And his diet reflects that same philosophy, built around clean, balanced nutrition that fuels his body without compromise, with lean proteins supporting muscle repair, healthy fats providing sustained energy, and complex carbohydrates ensuring endurance levels remain high, all measured, all intentional, nothing left to chance. And when you combine all of these elements together, the preparation, the layered training, the relentless focus, and the disciplined recovery, you start to understand that his success isn't based on talent alone. It's built on a system, a lifestyle, a mindset that refuses to settle, where every day is another opportunity to improve, to refine, to push further than before. And that's why, even after reaching the top, he continues to operate with the same hunger, the same obsession with growth, because for him there is no finish line, only the next level waiting to be reached. Because he understands that what he puts into his body directly impacts his performance. And this level of discipline didn't appear overnight, as it was built from a young age when he made a decision to be different, to outwork everyone, to push beyond his limits, and to turn every weakness into strength, and that hunger slowly turned into obsession, which became his greatest advantage because while others relied on talent, Ronaldo relied on relentless work. And even after achieving success, winning trophies and breaking records, he never allowed himself to slow down, as every achievement became a new starting point rather than a finish line. And that mindset is exactly why even today, at a stage where most players decline or retire, Ronaldo is still competing, still scoring, still pushing himself to the highest level. And while some critics say his lifestyle is too extreme, too controlled, and too demanding, the reality is that greatness always requires sacrifice, the kind of sacrifice most people are not willing to make, giving up comfort, giving up a normal lifestyle, and choosing discipline every single day. And while others relax, Ronaldo prepares. While others celebrate, he focuses on the next challenge, and this never-ending cycle is exactly what separates him from everyone else, because he chose greatness over comfort. And now, years later, the results speak for themselves, as what people call a secret routine is really just consistent discipline repeated over time, small decisions made daily that build into something extraordinary. And that's why Cristiano Ronaldo is still performing, still dominating, and still proving that limits can be pushed further than we think, because in the end there is no shortcut, no hidden formula, just discipline, obsession, consistency, and a mindset that refuses to settle. And that is the real reason why he continues to stay at the top even today.